So children, are you all happy with what all you have got in your life? Every human being has the intention to achieve all the worldly possessions, especially materialistic things. Nobody in this world is happy with what all they have got in their life. Today, we are going to discuss the story of a young, beautiful woman named Matilda, who is also not happy in her life as she was not born in a rich family. Let us read the story The Necklace, written by Guy de Maupassant. Before moving on to the lesson, we can know more about the writer. Henry Albert Guy de Maupassant. He was born on 5th August 1850 and died on 6th July 1893. He was a 19th century French author remembered as a master of the short story form and as a representative of the naturalistic school who depicted human lives and destinies and social forces in disillusioned and often pessimistic terms. He wrote 300 short stories, 6 novels, 3 travel books, and 1 volume of verse. His first published story, Bol de Souffle, The Dumpling, 1880, is often considered his masterpiece. First, you watch the animation and then listen to the explanation of each part.
She was one of those pretty, young ladies born as if through an error of destiny into a family of clerks. She had no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved and married by a man either rich or distinguished, and she allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. She suffered incessantly, feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls and the worn chairs. All these things tortured and angered her. She seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delighted air.
Oh, the good pot pie. I know nothing better than that.
She would think of elegant dinners, of shining silver, she thought of the exquisite food served in marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing. And she loved only those things. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who she did not like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned. She wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. One evening her husband returned elated, bearing in his hand a large envelope.
Here is something for you.
She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words.
The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Ramponneau asked the honor of Mr. and Mme Loisel, S. Company. Monday evening, January 18th, at the Minister's residence.
Instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully upon the table, murmuring,
What do you suppose I want with that?
But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion, and a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select, not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official world there.
What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that?
Why, the dress you wear when we go to the theater. It seems very pretty to me. What is the matter? What is the matter?
Nothing. Only I have no dress and consequently I cannot go to this affair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I.
Let us see, Matilda. How much would a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple.
She reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without bringing with it an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. Finally she said, in a hesitating voice,
I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it.
He turned a little pale, for he had saved just this sum to buy a gun, that he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer, with some friends, who went to shoot larks on Sunday. Nevertheless, he answered,
Very well, I will give you 400 francs. But try to have a pretty dress.
Matilda was a young and a beautiful lady who was born in a middle-class family of clerks. Her family's condition was so poor that they were not able to afford a dowry, and the situation was not suitable for her to marry and love a rich person. So she decided to marry a clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was not at all happy with her life. She was very angry whenever she saw the apartment where she lived, the walls, the torn chairs, etc. Her husband was very happy with the simple dishes served by her. But she used to think of elegant dinners which were served in marvelous dishes. She was not a satisfied lady. One day, her husband came back from office with a card. He was very happy and he gave that card to her. She was very eager to know what was there in that card. Actually, it was an invitation for both to attend a party in the minister's home. She was very angry when she read that invitation. She threw it away. Mr. Loisel never expected that. He thought that she will be very happy, but she was very angry and she asked him what could she do with that. Loisel told that only some employees of that office only get this chance to attend a meeting like this or a party like this. She was not convinced. She told that since she was not having a good dress, how could she go for a party? He never thought of that. He just preferred her to have a dress which she always wore whenever they went for movies in a theater. She was not ready to have that dress. She was very angry and she cried a lot, and then she wiped out her tears and all, and very calmly she told that he must give that invitation to someone else in his office wherein they could go for that party. He was very much sad by seeing Matilda crying like that. He asked her how much will it cost to buy a new costume that she could wear for some other functions also. She thought for a while. She was not ready to ask the amount at first. Then she decided to ask 400 francs. He was astonished. Actually, he had the money with him. He had kept it to buy a gun so that he could go for hunting and all along with his friends. But he was ready to give that amount to her and asked her to buy a new dress.
The day of the ball approached and Madame Loisel seemed sad, disturbed, anxious. Nevertheless, her dress was nearly ready.
What is the matter with you? You have acted strangely for 2 or 3 days.
I am vexed not to have a jewel, nothing to adorn myself with. I shall have such a poverty-stricken look. I would prefer not to go to this party.
You can wear some natural flowers. In the season they look very chic.
No, there is nothing more humiliating than to have a shabby air in the midst of rich women.
How stupid we are. Go and find your friend Mme Forestier and ask her to lend you her jewels.
It is true. I had not thought of that.
The next day she took herself to her friend's house and related her story of distress. Madame Forestier went to her closet, took out a large jewel case, brought it, opened it, and said,
Choose, my dear.
She saw at first some bracelets, then a collar of pearls, then a Venetian cross of gold and jewels of admirable workmanship. She tried the jewels before the glass, hesitated, but could neither decide to take them nor leave them.
Have you nothing more? Why, yes. Look for yourself. I do not know what will please you.
Suddenly she discovered, in a black satin box, a superb necklace of diamonds. Her hands trembled as she took it out. She placed it about her throat against her dress and was ecstatic.
Could you lend me this? Only this. Why, yes, certainly.
She fell upon the neck of her friend, embraced her with passion, then went away with her treasure. The day of the ball arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. She was the prettiest of all, elegant, gracious, smiling and full of joy. All the men noticed her, asked her name, and wanted to be presented. She danced with enthusiasm, intoxicated with pleasure, thinking of nothing but all this admiration, this victory so complete and sweet to her heart. She went home towards 4 o'clock in the morning. Her husband had been half asleep in one of the little salons since midnight with 3 other gentlemen whose wives were enjoying themselves very much. He threw around her shoulders the modest wraps they had carried, whose poverty clashed with the elegance of the ball costume. She wished to hurry away in order not to be noticed by the other women who were wrapping themselves in rich furs. Loisel detained her. "Wait," said he. "I am going to call a cab." But she would not listen and descended the steps rapidly. When they were in the street, they found no carriage, and they began to seek for one, hailing the coachman whom they saw at a distance. They walked along toward the river, hopeless and shivering. Finally they found one of those old carriages that one sees in Paris after nightfall. It took them as far as their door, and they went wearily up their apartment. It was all over for her. And on his part, he remembered that he would have to be at the office by 10 o'clock. She removed the wraps from her shoulders before the glass for a final view of herself in her glory. Suddenly she uttered a cry. Her necklace was not around her neck.
The day for the ball was approaching, but Matilda was found upset, although her new dress was almost done. Mr. Loisel asked her one day why she was behaving strangely for the past few days. She replied that she was not having a good jewelry which could suit her new dress, so she was not ready to go to party. Loisel asked her to have some natural flowers. She was upset at that time also. Then he suggested her to ask Madame Forestier for any jewelry. She was happy at that time. She never thought of it. The very next day she went to Madame Forestier's house and told about her distress. Madame Forestier was ready to help her. She asked Matilda to choose any of the jewelries from her jewelry box. She found some bracelets, some golden jewelries, etc. She tried some, but she was in a confusion which one she could choose. She asked Forestier whether she has got some other jewelries. At last, she found a diamond jewelry inside a box. It was a diamond necklace. She tried it and she looked very beautiful in that. She wanted to have that. Madame Forestier consented, and Matilda was very happy. She embraced her and left the place. The day for the ball approached. Matilda was the prettiest among all the women who came for the party. She looked beautiful in that new dress and the necklace. Men started looking at her. They asked her name. They wanted her to dance with them. She was very happy. She enjoyed a lot. She danced along with them. After midnight, Mr. Loisel, along with some other men, fell asleep. And these ladies were enjoying the party. So they left the party at 4 o'clock in the morning. So while they were leaving, Mr. Loisel gave a modest wrap because it's very cold at that time. She was upset at that time. She doesn't want anyone to see that poor wrap that she was having. She wanted to escape from that place. Mr. Loisel told that they have to wait for a cab, but she was not ready to wait. She wanted to escape from the place so that no one could notice her, because all the women were having reached first. They couldn't get a carriage. They found one at a distance. They called, but the carriage didn't stop. At last, they have to walk a lot. They walked together along the river, street, etc. And at last, they got a carriage and they reached their house. They were both totally tired. He knew very well that he had to go to his office at 10 o'clock. So he wanted to take rest. But Matilda wanted to see herself again in that beautiful dress and the jewelry. She removed the wrap and she found that the necklace was missing. She gave a great cry at that time.
What is the matter?
I no longer have Madame Forestier's necklace.
What? How is that? It is not possible. You are sure you still had it when we left the minister's house?
Yes, I felt it as we came out.
But if you had lost it in the street, we should have heard it fall. It must be in the cab.
Yes, it is possible. Did you take the number?
No. And you, did you notice what it was?
No.
I am going over the track where we went on foot to see if I can find it.
And he went. She remained in her evening gown, not having the force to go to bed. Towards 7 o'clock her husband returned. He had found nothing. He went to the police and to the cab offices and put an advertisement in the newspapers offering a reward. She waited all day in a state of bewilderment before this frightful disaster. Loisel returned in the evening, his face pale. He had discovered nothing.
Write to your friend that you have broken the clasp of the necklace and that you will have it repaired. That will give us time.
She wrote as he dictated. At the end of a week, they had lost all hope.
We must replace this jewel.
In a shop of the Palais Royal, they found a chaplet of diamonds, which seemed to them exactly like the one they had lost. It was valued at 40,000 francs. They could get it for 36,000. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs, which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest. He made ruinous promises, took money from usurers and the whole race of lenders. Then he went to get the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. When Madame Loisel took back the jewels to Madame Forestier, the latter said to her in a frigid tone,
You should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them.
Madame Forestier did not open the jewel box, as Madame Loisel feared she would. What would she think if she should perceive the substitution? What should she say? Would she take her for a robber? Madame Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. She did her part, however, completely, heroically. It was necessary to pay this frightful debt. She would pay it. They sent away the maid, they changed their lodgings, they rented some rooms in an attic. She learned the odious work of a kitchen. She washed the dishes. She washed the soiled linen, their clothes and dishcloths, which she hung on the line to dry. She took down the refuse to the street each morning and brought up the water, stopping at each landing to catch her breath. And clothed like a woman of the people, she went to the grocers, the butchers and the fruiterers, with her basket on her arm, shopping, haggling to the last sou of her miserable money. The husband worked evenings, putting the books of some merchants in order, and nights he often did copying at 5 sous a page. And this life lasted for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had restored all. Mrs. Loisel seemed old now. She had become a strong, hard woman, the crude woman of the poor household. Her hair badly dressed, her skirts awry, her hands red, she spoke in a loud tone, and washed the floors with large pails of water. But sometimes, when her husband was at the office, she would seat herself before the window and think of that evening party of former times, of that ball where she was so beautiful and so flattered. How would it have been if she had not lost the necklace? Who knows? How singular is life, and how full of changes. How small a thing will ruin or save one. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk in the Champs-Élysées to rid herself of the cares of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman walking with a child. It was Mme Forestier, still young, still pretty, still attractive. Mme Loisel was affected. Should she speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? She approached her.
Good morning, Jean. But, madam, I do not know, you must be mistaken. No, I am Matilde Loisel. Oh, my poor Matilda, how you have changed. Yes, I have had some hard days since I saw you, and some miserable ones, and all because of you. Because of me? How is that? You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned me to wear to the minister's ball? Yes, very well. Well, I lost it. How is that, since you returned it to me? I returned another to you exactly like it. And it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. You can understand that it was not easy for us who have nothing. But it is finished and I am decently content. You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine. Yes, you did not perceive it then. They were just alike. Oh, my poor Matilda, mine were false. They were not worth over 500 francs.
Thank you.
Matilda now told Mr. Loisel that she had lost Madame Forestier's necklace. Both of them were distressed. He asked whether she remembered that she had it when they left minister's house. She replied that she felt it. Then they started searching for the necklace in the folds and the pockets of the dress. They couldn't find it. Then they thought if it might have fallen on the street, they might have heard the sound. They thought whether they have lost it in the carriage. Both of them didn't notice the number of the carriage also. Mr. Loisel dressed himself and he went outside to search the necklace on the path where they have walked. At 7 o'clock he came back and told that he couldn't find the necklace. He went to the police and the cab's offices and he even gave an advertisement in the newspaper. She waited for Mr. Loisel throughout the day. In the evening, when he came back, he announced that he couldn't get the necklace anywhere. He asked Matilda to write a letter to Madame Forestier telling her that the necklace has been given for repairing since it had a problem with the hook. She wrote the letter. They waited for 1 week, but they couldn't get that necklace back. At last, Mr. Loisel decided to buy a new necklace for Madame Forestier. They searched for a diamond necklace which was as similar as that of Madame's. At last they got it. It was of 40,000 francs and they got it for 36,000. Mr. Loisel already had 18,000 francs which was given by his father at the time of his death. The remaining amount he had to take from money lenders. Very pathetic situation. It's a difficult task for them. Then also they did it. They bought the new necklace and handed over to Madame Forestier. Madame Forestier at that time told that she might have given it earlier since she needed that necklace for some functions. Now Matilda realized what real life is. They started to lead a simple life after that because anyhow they have to pay back the loan that they have taken from the money lenders. She started a simple life. They just moved from that apartment to a room in an attic, a rented room in an attic. the maid was maid was asked to go. That means till now there was a maid who helped her to cook, wash the dishes, wash the clothes, etc. Now Matilda started doing all those works. She started cooking, she started washing dishes, she started washing clothes. Now she started wearing ordinary dresses, and she went outside to the markets, different grocery markets to buy things. It took 10 years for them to pay back the money. When we consider Mr. Loisel, he also worked a lot. He started doing extra work in the evening as well as in the night also. At last, they paid that amount. Now, Madame Loisel had lost all her beauty. Sometimes she will be near the window and she will think about that day wherein she was very beautiful in that dress as well as the jewelry. How beautiful she was at that time. Then she remembered, or she just thought, if she might not have lost it, how her life could be. Just imagine. Now, one day, when Madame Loisel was walking on a street, she found Madame Forestier. She went to her and introduced herself. Madame Forestier was not able to recognize her for the first time because now Madame Loisel was in a very pathetic situation. Ordinary dress, not well-dressed hair and all. So she looked old at that time. But Madame Forestier was as beautiful as she was earlier. Then Matilda told that all these things happened only because of the necklace that she had taken from Madame Forestier. She also added by telling that it took 10 long years for her to pay back that money that they have taken from the money lenders to buy a new necklace for her. She also told that she lost the necklace also. After hearing all these things, Madame Forestier declared that the necklace that she had given to Matilda was not a real one. Just imagine the situation. Meanings of new vocabularies rather than that is given in your textbook. Incessantly, without interruption, constantly. Pot pie, a savory pie baked in a deep dish. Exquisite, extremely beautiful and delicate. Dismay, concern and distress caused by something unexpected. Chic, elegantly and stylishly fashionable. Ecstatic, feeling or expressing overwhelming happiness or joyful excitement. Saloons, a reception room in a large house. Cast down, sad or worried. Chaplet, a garland or circlet for a person's head. Odious, extremely unpleasant, repulsive. So what is the message that you got from this story? We have to be content with whatever we have. We have to be satisfied for what we are and what we have. Never look into the matters of others. Never look into the possessions of others. Be happy with whatever we have. Okay. So with this, I'm going to wind up this lesson. Read the lesson several times and learn it. Bye.